Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, this is a spirit journey. I hope you all are doing well, bright eyed and bushy tailed. Yeah, good morning. Well, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty alert. And yeah, I got up not too long ago. My alarm went off around 4. Yeah, I have it set early. And let's see, today is Saturday, good old Saturday morning. The time is now 4:37 a.m. September 2nd, 2023. Wow. Boy, this year is going fast, people. It is going so fast. I can't get over it. Yeah, I feel pretty good this morning. I was just sipping some of my water. So I have it right next to me. I put my minerals in it. And this, I think it's called shungite, no, shilajit, something like, yeah, shilajit. Some, it's natural form, it's like a resin, but I got the powder form, and it's minerals. Yeah, when you get older, as you get older, and the quality of the soil and everything, the minerals are depleted, and I think a lot of illnesses people are getting is because of the lack of minerals that they're getting in their food source. So I just feel more conscious about it, and I try to take it anytime I can. So many of you know when I get up, I like drinking my water. I drink like close to a liter, let's see, it's about 32 ounces of water, and I usually have a pinch of salt, or if I use my electrolyte mix, and then I put in that powder, the shilajit powder for minerals. I change it up a bit because remember before I used to put the coconut oil and um, turmeric and all that stuff. So sometimes I just feel like I want to change it up a bit. So it's all good, people. It's all good. Yeah, how are you guys feeling this morning? Yeah, I hope you're all okay. Yeah, I like in particular this time of day. I just love the quietness of it. I'm in my living room, and my device in my bedroom doesn't have this streaming software on it. So, but my desktop does. And so if I fall asleep in my living room, yeah, so I'll use this one, and it has this software, so I can do the live stream. Real easy to do. I see that it's excuse me. Wow, it looks like 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, there's a thing about the temperature on my monitor. It has the date and time and all that, and weather condition. Yeah, I'm fascinated with time and what the weather is outside. It looks like it's going to be a nice day. Yeah, yesterday was very beautiful. Yeah, the weather here in New York City is changing. It's cooling up. Yeah, so when it's like in the 60s early, that's all right. Sometimes I start off cool and then in the afternoon it gets really hot. So I still would, if I'm gonna go out early. Yeah, 80 degrees is kind of too hot for me, my dogs, especially if it's direct sunlight, forget about it. Um, yeah, so I did go out yesterday. I yeah, went out actually late yesterday. And I was planning on going out later on, but not as late as I went. It was cool. So it's okay, I don't have to rush myself to get out of the house early to do my morning walk with my little doggies. But just, I can get a little more relaxation and leave early afternoon. Well, after I had my I eat one meal a day. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. Happy Saturday morning to you. Thank you for getting up early with me. So, anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so uh, I set my alarm early, 4 o'clock, and this particular time of day, I love it because it's very quiet. It just has a peace in the air, and I love it. And I'm fascinated with seeing the transition of the sky and it getting illuminated, and you see the clouds and all the blue skies start to develop. I find that very fascinating. Yeah, you should try it and get up early and watch the sunrise come. It's very beautiful. It's just a nice thing to do. So, so yesterday, it was cool outside. I had my window cracked open, and I could tell that it was a nice cool day. The whole day was cool. And so, I had one meal a day. I eat in the early afternoon. I usually eat my first meal at 1 p.m. Yes, you heard right. 1 p.m. is usually my first time to eat if I'm going to eat something. And but after I eat, I get sleepy. Yeah, I get sleepy sometime. And I dozed off. And when I woke up, yeah, I was extremely tired. And when that, after eating all that sleep, after an hour eating, you just clunk, you just clunk out. That's what happened. And so it was like approaching 4 p.m. I said, "Shoo, it looks beautiful out there." And I'm here. I was so tired. I said, "No, let me get my butt up," because my little babies, um, they need to get some air. They only go out if I go out. They can't go out by themselves. So, I was dressed and everything. So I uh, got out of my lounger and went out with the gang. And I experienced some things, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about. Yeah, that's what I want to talk to you guys about. Yeah, in the description I wrote about, yeah, in case I forget, because it's unscripted what I talk about, but I want to try to remember what I wrote in the description. So basically, I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about religion. I'm going to talk about the state of New York City and this man that I met actually 2 days ago. So yeah, so those things we're going to talk about. So when I left with my dogs with the stroller, yeah, so it was after 4 p.m. and beautiful, beautiful. The weather was nice and cool. Um, I saw on my block where I live, and again, I say what I say. I'm not trying to be hostile or uh, xenophobic. In New York City, everybody's from somewhere else. And they were always in my peripheral, they were always in my life. I've always associated with them, always talked, blah, blah, blah. But now the social conditioning in New York is intensifying. If you haven't seen some of the news reports in New York City, and I'm not a sensitive person, and I think the whole world is going through changes. But what I saw, so I get to the end of the block and make a right turn, and I see a family. What the politically correct wording now is migrants, a migrant family. See, a man, a woman, I think it was 3 kids, and they have a sign. And also that corner is a McDonald's. We got McDonald's all over New York City. It's a new McDonald's. It just opened up a couple months ago, and they're camping out there, sitting on the sidewalk, and it's like, wow, right on my, almost right on my doorstep, so to speak, right on my block now. This particular avenue where they go, some of the migrants congregate, on that particular avenue is a hotel that the government is utilizing to house migrants. They call them migrants. But if they're migrants, where they're migrating to. So they never say, okay, where's your destination? Because it's like make you feel like you're preventing them to getting to their destination. Honey, you get a plane about get to your destination and get off and do your thing. But see, they're putting the responsibility on the residents that live here, the legal residences, the citizens that live here. Just like I cannot go to their country. Yes, good morning, Vera. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday morning to you. Yeah, I cannot go to their country and get off a bus. See, someone is sponsoring them to enter into the US. Someone is sponsoring them because when they get off the bus, they're clean. They got clean shoes, clean, backpacks, smartphones. They come set. Someone is behind it, and someone is bringing them in. Okay, and then somehow from south of the border, their buses, and they're bringing them and dropping them off in Manhattan. There are now, I heard, 100,000 of them here in New York City. I do not know whether specifically Manhattan where I live, but 100,000. Now, just as a reminder, New York City went through a trauma regarding the what's been happening the past 3 years with the I call it C-19, the letter C as in cat, 19. So I have to be careful the words I use because yes, I've been timed out by YouTube 2 weeks at a time. They try to get back at me. What it looks like, they try to get back at me and say, "Well, you put up a video from 2 years ago, and we're going to punish you because you had it up regarding some policy that you violated, and so we're going to give you a 2-week timeout." They do that. They do that to me, and usually, I share with you guys the what happened, because you may see that I'm not on, well, because they pulled me off. And now they're getting more stricter. So you never know what video is going to ruffle their feathers. They can make up anything. They can make up anything on you. The system now that's controlling these social medias. In case any of you who didn't know, that's what happens now with me. It's been happening now for several years, even before the C-19. They've been pulling videos off, and then now they punish me. First was just 1 week. Now they punish me with 2 weeks. And they said, one more strike, that's the word strike, they put a strike. One more strike, we're gonna pull your channel. And my latest strike happened about 3 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, after an interview I did with, what's the name, Black Sunrise. Yeah, I had one interview with her. We were supposed to have several interviews. And I'm not sure whether I'll do a second, even though I wanted to. But I feel that if I interview her, I believe that they pulled a video, and it wasn't the interview with her that they pulled. They pulled something from that was over 1.5 years old. Okay, and they said one more strike, and we will pull your channel permanently. That's what they told me, permanently. So, and I notified that guest. It happened the day after the interview. One day after the interview, I think it was, I notified her in a direct message what happened. I said, hey, thank you that I was able to interview you, and they pulled my, gave me a timeout and won't be on for 2 weeks. So I told her that. So here, the migrants now, yeah, they're all over New York City. This particular avenue in Manhattan, they are housing them. And school started, yeah. The private schools, like the parochial schools and all that, they started. The first day of school for public schools is usually 9/11, September 11th. So it's right around the corner. But there are schools opening, that already started. Uh, so yeah, you're going to be seeing on the avenue buses for the children of the migrant workers, busloads. Busloads. Who's paying for this, people? But yeah, for the past 3 years, New York City was in a state of disarray. Massive unemployment, um, garbage galore. I've never seen so much garbage in my life. Rats. It was a swarm of rats that I personally have seen. I talk about my experiences, what I personally see or experience. It was in such disarray, people being mugged big time. I was almost mugged several times. And I'm very thankful that, before I go out, I give a prayer over myself and my dogs, a prayer of protection. Yes, I do. And I just said, I need all the help. um, yeah, it's very dangerous in some locations. And yeah, when you have hunger, when you have people who don't have work, and when you have young men, young, strong men who are aimless because they have no future, no jobs, they might have felons. They can get the no job. If you get a felon, you are refused job opportunities and housing opportunities. It is a prison. It is a new enslavement for particular demographics here in New York City. And I'm referring to Black Americans in general. Okay? And yes, some things are a choice. Some people make wrong choices in life, early in life. And I've heard of this certain testimonies of people that, yeah, I did this when I was a teenager. This one guy saying, he was 16 or 19 years old. And he had a weapon that was unloaded. And he said he didn't have money. And he decides to use this particular weapon, unloaded. Guess who he did? And a cop. Yes, he did. What do you call it? When they're not in uniform. He decides to do it to that person, not knowing that, of course, that he's a cop. And yes, he did. He did some serious jail time, prison time, and probation. And he keeps, you could, he was at a particular event. He was to be a guest speaker at an event to discuss what happened to him. And he did not know, and I hope he learned something in this. Next time he's invited to an event, he better tell the people who are sponsoring the event, make sure you don't have alcohol or anything, certain things in the audience, because just to be around that particular thing they're gonna throw him back in jail. And that's what happened. So, oh, you are, the authorities said, oh, you're in violation of your parole. Now, would they know, he's in violation? I mean, he's just an individual at this event. Well, I guess they were following him. And back in the slammer. Could you believe that someone who really is trying, he was really trying to, he's sharing his testimony about what happened to him and what not to do. And then in the event, they arrest him because he violated probation. Yeah, a lot of little things when you're under probation. It's very sad, people. Yeah, they could, I think, extend the probation or something like that. I don't know definitively, but it's not good when you violate your probation. So that's the state of New York City with many of the people, Black Americans that you see on the street. A lot of open drug use, especially 2 years ago. And so all of a sudden now, 100,000, there are more of them, people. There are more of them than the local Blacks here in New York City. When you go out there, we used to all these new families from these locations out of the woodworks. Man, yeah, that's what I see. Now these aren't bad people. They with their kids. One thing I admire about these migrant workers, that they go out as a family. And I love the sense of family, people. I love to see parents and their children. And here in New York City, you never see Black Americans with their family, man, woman, and the babies. You don't see it here. But you got a migrant who with their families, it's just an observation, people. It's just an observation. But made me feel sad. So, when I came out, went around the corner, and then I see the on my block now. So what's happening now is coming to my front door. Now they're on my block, sitting on the ground, begging for money with their children. And of course I feel sad. I don't like to see people begging. And they don't deserve this either, these migrant workers. They're probably being promised certain things in their country. Hey, let's go, I'll drive you to America, And they may not realize that they're being used. I think that they're being tricked. Because I didn't invite them. None of these Black Americans, I didn't invite them to sit on my block. I didn't. Who invited them? I sure didn't. The poor in this country didn't do it. So who is? And how come they're not sitting in their neighborhood? Remember what happened earlier this year? They took the bus. It was from Texas. When they came in, someone had them go on a bus, and they brought them to Martha's Vineyard. You heard me right, Martha's Vineyard. And parked them right, what was that? Was it the Obamas? It was somebody's place in Martha's Vineyard, a swanky place, hangout for the rich. And then they got, the residences there got angry and bust them out of their neighborhood. They lasted one night, these migrants. See, it's not fair to do that to these people. See, they're probably being promised something in their home countries. They get on the bus that's sponsored by who knows who. I can only speculate who's paying for the bus ride. And they're getting on with a promise that America is going to embrace them with open arms to wellness and riches and all that. And then they drop them off at these big cities, Democrat cities, where poor people live like, myself, and busloads. And they get off, and they have the hotels for them, and 500 a night. Who's paying for this? Who is paying 500? Where's this money coming from? And yet, but you have your own Americans, your fellow Americans, who are hungry, who have children. And again, to be on certain what called public assistance, you're not allowed to they claim that if you're married, so you can't have your man there. So they force the guy out. So now you live alone, your female live alone with all these kids. But yet these migrants could have their kids and both parents together. You heard me. Both parents are together and they're getting some type of money to sustain them. Because they gotta eat. They cannot legally work here. You need your green card to work legally here, right? So who's financing them? Where are they getting their food from? Okay. So I'm sad. I'm sad for my fellow Americans, and I'm sad for the migrants as well, because I think they're being put in the middle and they're being tricked to come here. And then now they're sitting on the sidewalk on my block where I live. This family. This is the first time I've ever seen them. First time I've seen them. And they're begging. And the area across the street from that, where the migrants are housed, it's a whole slew of these bikes. Yeah, I saw it looked like an American fellow, Black American fellow. And he's vandalizing one of the bikes. It's like a whole slew of these e-bikes, because this is now where the migrants hang out. The guys. You don't see the girls. It's just guys. You might see one female or something. But they hang out there and they're leaning on the bikes, the e-bikes, whatever. These are like the food delivery things. But now they're there, they're housed there, park there, the bikes, and they congregate there, big groups. And I'm concerned that it might a fight occur, because what happened in Harlem, New York, or uptown in Manhattan, a fight. There was a migrant housing, and when the locals walked by, according to what the news feed said, that some of the locals were walking by and the migrants were throwing things at them. So that's not good, and it did stress me out. A lot of sadness, and I felt extremely stressed. I don't like when it get like this. I could feel like when it escalates, I could feel faint in my body. My head starts to, the muscles of my head contract, and I guess maybe shorten the oxygen levels, and you can faint, you can pass out. The stress could get that bad. I'm a very sensitive person. I care about the hurting. I care, you don't want to see anybody, whether they're migrants or whatever, you don't want to see pain. I'm very sensitive to other people's pain. It gets me feeling pain, emotional pain and distress. So I kept on going where I was, because I was headed to the park. So I passed them, and it was crowded too, crowded. And also what I see, you see these shopping carts, the old-fashioned shopping carts. A lot of people used to put laundry in. And it's these migrants, and they serve these food. They have these mangoes and fruit. They make like a fruit cup, and they sell it. And they got they have their gloves on, and they cut and prepare the food and handle the money, which is illegal to do. The people who handle the food are not allowed to handle the money. But that's being done. And it's usually ladies that do it. The guys don't do it, the ladies. And you need a license to do what they're doing, a food license. It costs money, food license. And this neighborhood is prime real estate in a prime area to uh, sell food because those vendors have to pay for their license to sell food. You know, those trucks. But these are little shopping carts. And you know, people might say, oh, the poor lady, like they call them the churros women. That pastry is a long strip and they put sugar on it. You see that? It's illegal to do that. And they make it look like the women are victims. Um, you're not doing what you're legally supposed to do. And I can't do that. I cannot do that. See, there's certain rules that are in place to protect the health of the people who are going to eat that food. Food's supposed to be, if you prepare food, it has to be prepared in a legal kitchen. And I think that's in all the states, all the 50 states. Because I had briefly gotten a food license to sell food. Yeah, I no longer have it. Um, yeah, it's a whole procedure, people. Yeah, to sell food, to get a vendor's license is a big process. And I did a video on my old channel designed for veterans, black men in particular, how to get your vendor's license and how to get your food license also. Yeah, it's a process, and if you're not a veteran, it costs money to get. Just an FYI. So they're bypassing the rules on on selling food in the street. I'm just saying, people, because we'll say, what if you eat that food and you get sick? And let's say you want to go back and tell them, hey, you got me sick, I'm in the hospital. Oh, are they going to pay your bill? They're going to run away and go set up in some other area. And again, it is illegal to do, and it's a whole slew of them on this particular street now. It's like open season for these food cups or whatever what they're selling, food selling. So they're using their hands, holding your raw food and the money, so it can be contaminated. You get sick. If I did it, see, how come you don't see black folk doing it? Well, because blacks aren't allowed to do that. You cannot be a black person with your shopping cart and selling food, making it home. Well, there are a lot of blacks who can cook, right? Back in the day, wasn't it Black America? Did the black folk were the ones that did all the cooking, right? So what's so easy, you know, it's just as easy to get some fruits like bananas or mangoes, where peel it and cut in pieces, put in a little cup to try to get some money. We're not allowed to do that. They would chase us away. We would be arrested. That's what would have happened. So we don't do it. Yet some of us, you know, people ways how to make money. So, you know, if you see a black person selling something on the street, you know what they sell now? It's the men, the young guys. They sell marijuana. They sell marijuana now. Yeah. And I wouldn't want to shop with them either. They're handling a product with their bare hands. Did they wash their hands? I'm not trying to be picky. I'm being real. I come from a food background. I went to school, learned pastry arts. I got my certificate in it. Years, it took 13 months. I did this in the 1990s. Yeah, you have to take sanitation courses, you know, food handling courses and all that to learn about how to handle food. And it's a whole procedure. And so I'm aware I used to work in restaurants and I had to handle food. I prepared food. In the military, I was in the military and I had to handle food. It is very strenuous work. And in particular, you have to be careful when you handle food because you have food-borne illnesses, you have bacteria and other things. And if you don't practice sanitation practices, you and your efforts of preparing a dessert, a meal, could cause someone illness. Are these people sick who are touching your food or preparing these little fruit cups for you? I mean, they're probably very sweet people, but it can get you sick, okay? And it's a whole slew of them now in this tourist section in town. And the cops aren't stopping them. But if someone like myself had that shopping cart, I mean, I got a big ass shopping cart. You've seen it in the past. Remember, I used to carry my little dogs in it back in the day, about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Remember? Yeah, it was a red one, and then it broke, and then I bought the black one that I had for maybe 2, 3 months, and then I got my stroller, my professional dog stroller that I got over the internet. It works fabulously. Yes. Yeah, it's the top of the line stroller to have your pets in. You can also put children in it. You know, it has a very smooth ride and it has shock absorbers in it, so it's a bump-free ride. Yeah. So yeah, so I have so I'm seeing through my eyes, and I also used to work in Hawaii, and I noticed there. Yeah, I lived in Maui, Hawaii, and I worked right on that strip that got burnt out in that fire. It's going on 4 weeks now. 4 weeks when that fire started in Lahaina. I lived in Lahaina for 5 months. I worked on Lahaina, that front street. That's all burnt down, and I shared you the video. I did a video on it. I shared the pictures on Google Earth, what it looks like now. I showed you where I used to live, and I'm grieving. I'm grieving people. Yeah, that's what's happened. When I grieve, sometimes I get very grieved and pain. I might sound a little angry, but that's what's happening. And it's my way of coping, sharing what's on my mind. I know I'll get through this. So that's what was happening. The recent fire there in Maui, and it's coming out what they did to those poor people. Yeah, it was, in my opinion, based on the evidence, engineered weapon, direct energy weaponry, DEW, it's short for DEW, DEW. DEW was used to destroy a town that I used to live and work in. And I'm sad about that, people. But it was 20 something years ago. I got down there and I'm kind of going off the script, but it's all related. 1998, I started there. Yes, so it's a while ago. And I used to see some of they're usually from the Philippines. And they get that, there are a lot of Filipinos that live in Hawaii. They're nice people. I like Filipinos. And they're in the military too. They're in the U.S. military and they serve very well. I like Filipinos in particular. But many of them are illegal in Maui. But they blend right in. They're liked in Hawaii. And they have their basket. They have a basket on their head, a large basket, and they have the food, they prepare food, and they sell it on the street. They got sit on the curb, and people buy from them. But you know you can't be a Black American and do that. You'll be chased from the cops. But yet they allow certain people to do certain things, and then you wonder why certain people are poorer than these new migrants. And it gets me angry. It gets me angry as a veteran when I see other veterans on the street, Black veterans in particular. In New York City, the veterans are Black. You go maybe in Virginia or something like white, West Virginia or something, and you probably have a whole bunch of white people who are veterans. So it's regional too. But in New York City, the veterans you'll see are Blacks, and they're underserved. And no one's remembering us. And a lot of these dudes have felons. They can't get certain jobs, but you get a migrant worker who can go get a shopping cart and sell food by the mass, a whole bunch of them now, selling food at your risk if you eat it, because they may not practice sanitation practices that is sound and safe, and get you sick. And when you get sick, you cannot sue these people. But I, a Black woman, Black American woman, and yes, I am of Caribbean ancestry. My grandparents came from the Caribbean, various islands from the Caribbean, but I am American through and through. My identity is here, America. I served this country, and I didn't always know about my heritage. I thought it was just a regular Black American, right? Or what they show in the media, I thought that was my heritage. But I learned at 18, when I was 18 years old, that my grandparents came from another place. But I'm American through and through in my mental orientation. But I like to let people know. Just letting you know, I'm not trying to hide anything. I let you know. But I'm for this country. My loyalty is America and nowhere else. Nowhere else. People who come here and then they send the money they make and send it to their other country. They don't have respect. And some people, some migrants, some individuals from other countries do not have loyalty to America, who feeds them. But they curse America, have no respect for her, and just using my country as a stepping stone for their greatness, but not want to serve their country. Yeah, when I heard this person, so you have to be careful when you talk around a veteran like myself, because we have ears to hear. What happened? And again, not to mention that, but I know someone who's from Central America, that they were born there, their parents were born there, but their background is actually Caribbean as well. And when they said, oh, if our country, if America gets into war, they're going to send their kid back to their country in Central America. And I said to myself, I hope she gets the hell out of my country. Get out. That's how I felt. I didn't say anything to them, but that's what I felt. But ironically, because of the job market and everything, the kid was forced to join the military, the U.S. military. And they did their time. They did their time. Okay. So it's really ironic how things can happen. They just got out of the military. So yeah, so that person served their country. they served America. So they are, so all respect to that person, and but they can always be called back. See, they just got out. And they do their reserve time. You do 1 week in a month, something like that. You're on call, and war could still happen here in America. So it'd be really ironic. This person said they're gonna take their kid and send them out of the country. Well, it's too late now. They're on call. Something happens because they have to do it for 2 years, I think. It's like a reserve type of thing. They are not all the, some ratings. They once they get out, they're out. But some jobs that you do in the military, they still need you. You still have to report in. You're out, but then you have to come in like 1 week in a month. I think as a buffer because things could happen in the U.S. and they since that they just got out of the military, they still it's still fresh in their mind, the protocols and all that. So that's the deal with that. So I see all these things in the street now. I see people, the women selling these food and they're remembering my stay in Hawaii, and it made me feel unloved. It made me feel unloved. I said, wow, I know that I couldn't get my basket out and sell food because again, it has to be prepared in a legal kitchen. Because the cops, when they don't like it, oh, where's your license to sell food? Oh, and was it prepared in a legal kitchen? Oh yeah. See, the cops here, they can make money. I mean, they hassle some people. See, when the cops arrest you, it's money. It's money. When they throw you in the slammer, there's some type of money involved. And that's why in some neighborhoods, the cops are encouraged to arrest people because there's money involved with every head that they get and put in the slammer. It's some money. They get bonuses, cops. Hey, we have to have a certain number of arrests this month. And that's why they target poor Black areas. Or they go on the highway and try to stop somebody. That's what's happening. That's what I heard. So they can make money now, since those ladies are out there. There's a whole bunch of them now. And they're not being stopped. I mean, personally, I feel that the world is like one place, one small place, one people, planet Earth. And if you need to live, go whatever to make some money, and if the product is safe, let them. That's personally how I feel, in my heart. But if the rules don't apply to everybody, if I can't get my and sell my little, because I can bake. I was a baker. I made cheesecakes. I made, I could make a sheet cake with icing and sell it, right? Oh, where is your license? And then they'll confiscate everything. They'll confiscate the shopping cart and the food, and they could legally take your money. Hello. Is anybody out there listening? Is anybody? So this is what makes me sad. So first when I get, I left late in the day, after 4 p.m. yesterday. Then I see the migrant family begging for money on my block. And then I turn down another street, and then I see the ladies selling the fruit cups, and no one's stopping them. So I continue on further because I wanted to go to this park. Because as I mentioned in the description of this live stream, I met someone. I met someone 2 days ago actually. It was Thursday. And I went back to the same park yesterday. And I was hoping to see him, and yes, he was there. He's a grown man, mature man, in his 60s or 70s. He has this big Britain hat. I told you yesterday, he kind of reminded me of Colonel Sanders, a black Colonel Sanders. He kind of like old school. Nice, but he has a nice persona, friendly. He seems very friendly. And he teaches chess. He's a chess player. And I spoke to him again yesterday. And I actually sat down this time, because 2 days ago, it was eye contact, and he beckoned me over. I said, oh, no. Because I don't play chess. I've played chess before as a child. I said, no, and he beckoned me again. So 2 days ago, I didn't sit down, but I talked to him a little bit. And then I left. I had my stroll with the dogs in it. And then when I came back yesterday, I was hoping to see him. And I saw him, he was in the same spot. And this time I sat down. And I told him, I said, I was thinking about you yesterday after our talk. And I learned something about the game of chess. And I even did a video. I have a YouTube channel, and I did a video about it. My meeting you and about the game of chess, about the pawns, and that they're dispensable. But yet, even though they're dispensable and look and seem very innocent, yet people are consuming them. They consume them because it's so easy to consume the pawns. But it has a time release tablet in it, so to speak, and it's time released, and you bite into that pawn, and you don't realize that it has a time release in it, and it can kill you, and et cetera, et cetera. Then he said, the pawn is also known as a peasant. I said, oh, really? And I talked on a little bit, and I was very sad. I even took off my sunglasses. I said, I want you to see my eyes, because I had the sunglasses on. I want you to see what my eyes really look like. How I feel. I said, look, I don't want to make you think. I don't want to lead you on, and I like to be upfront with people. I said, look, I was thinking about you this morning, and I'm not prepared to pay any money. But I see you, and I just want to say hello. And so I don't want to waste your time. I'm not here to pay you money to play. I'm not here. I didn't come here to play a game of chess with you. I like to be upfront. And he said, thank you for being upfront about it. But he allowed me to sit, to remain seated. He said, stay seated. But, let me talk. He listened to me. He did. And then he talked a little bit. And the key thing he said in short was, don't leave, because I told him that I feel that I'm being pushed out of my country and that I want to leave. He said, don't leave. And he said that my analogy regarding the pawn pieces in the game of chess, he said, don't leave, and you're about to get a breakthrough. He said, you're about to get a breakthrough. He said the word being a prophet. So I don't know whether he said that I'm a prophet, but he said that, the prophets were never liked in their hometown. And you're about to get a breakthrough. And I needed to hear that, people. I needed to hear that. A breakthrough. That's what I need. I definitely need a breakthrough. And then, like I told him also, I said, look, I know all, like the right and wrongs. I know basically what you're supposed to do. I see the fire, but I don't know what to do. And that's how I feel. I feel like it's all happening around me and I'm overwhelmed. He's right. See, we could be in awareness, but what do you do for your breakthrough? And so I think I decided in my heart, I might go get lessons because he teaches chess. And he said he's willing to teach me the game of chess because he wants me to have a breakthrough. And yes, I will pay him. Because I asked him, I said, well, how much would it cost? He said, whatever you can afford. So I'm thinking in my mind, I, as an exercise, people, I need a breakthrough rather than a breakdown. I want to enjoy life. See, you see that things happen. Good and bad things happen simultaneously. And he's correct about that. He said, you are consumed. You're getting too consumed in what's happening to you. He is 100% right. And so I'm thinking, it seems like I've done everything else. Um, I need a breakthrough. I mean, I'm going through a change of season. There are multiple things happening because, again, chess is multi-level. It's not chess isn't played on one level. It's multi-dimensional chess. It's a game of chess. Yes, there is a game of chess. And chess is not a game. It is life. It is. Don't you agree, people? Those who are here? It's not just really a game of life. It's true. You have your pawns that are dispensable, and I'm being taught that it's called a peasant also. Don't we have peasants here in New York City? Yeah, you have your queens. Oh yeah, they're around in New York. And you have your king. And you have everything else in between. Yeah, chess is real. And the rules don't apply. Yeah, that's also what I told him. Yeah. So I had my initial conversation with him seated in his chair yesterday. And I thanked him because someone else was gonna go and play a game with him. Someone that I think it was a buddy of his. Yeah, it was a buddy, two buddies that he knew that came to see him. So I thanked him and I left. And then I came back to say goodbye. Like I did my walk. And I said, I want to say goodbye to him. Yeah, because I like him. And yeah, I just might come back. Yeah. So I'm looking for him. I said, oh, that's not the same guy that I was seeing. Because this guy didn't have his hat on. He looked kind of different. Yeah, it wasn't the same guy. I'm not the best with faces, people. And when people have their props on, whether their hat or whatever, they take it off. I think that they look they look different to me. I am not good with faces or names. It's horrible. But he has a name, and guess what his name is? At least the name that he shared with me, Moses. His name is Moses. Yeah, Moses of the Bible. Wasn't Moses, the leader? And so he knows what the name Moses, about Moses. I'm sure he's an adult man, 60s or 70s. Oh yeah, he knows the significance of his name. And he used to talk about the prophet. He says, don't give up. You're about to get a breakthrough. It's time to get a breakthrough, he said. And he's encouraged me to go, hey, sit down and have a class. He said, next time, allow him to talk. I said, okay. So I wanted to thank him, and go my way. So I see that wasn't the same guy that I talked to, but the other two guys were the same ones that I saw when I left, because they were going to play a game with them. So I went to go. And then out comes the guy in question, Moses. He had the hat on, He's a short guy, but kind of heavy, you know, um, he has a walking impairment, but he's still powerful. You can tell he was a powerful man in his day. Yeah, I have positive vibes with him. And I said, oh yeah, I just came back to say goodbye again, because I was just about to leave with my dogs. So, he was appreciative and he was encouraged me to come back. So I said, you're going to be back tomorrow, which is today. He said, if the weather, I got the impression that maybe he wanted to take the day off. He said, maybe. He said, if the weather's good, I might. So I just say, I'll let him, I give that weekend off. 'Cause I got the impression, give him, some time, he's not really maybe prepared to come out Saturday or Sunday. But I think, yeah, I'll sit on his tutorship and experience this game of chess and pray for a breakthrough with all this. Yes, this is, yeah, you need to get empowered because see, I think it's the signs of the time. And we all are going to go through some type of challenge. And maybe learning about the deep principles of chess. Maybe you might unlock certain mindsets I have from victimhood. See, I'm starting to feel like a victim, and that's not good. Because I'm not a victim. I'm very lucky than most people, I think. I live in a beautiful apartment. I have food. I have my health. I mean, I am fortunate. I am fortunate. I just have to learn how to guard my heart. I think I am an empath, and I feel things. I live through life feeling that I've always been this way, and I don't like to see injustice. I don't like to see people who are treated fairly. That's the same thing I know. And when I see injustices, I get upset. So, places like Hawaii, and all the dirt is coming out. All the dirt is coming out on about Hawaii, the fire that it had. It devastated my town that I lived in. It devastated it. And yeah, there's corruption, all right. There's a lot of corruption in Hawaii. The so-called Aloha State. Yeah, aloha to you too. Yeah, yeah, there are good people there in Hawaii. I met some good people there. But right now, you've got corrupt people and they're trying to set up what they call the 15-minute cities. The 15-minute city. Yeah. Yeah, so it's one of those things that are happening. One of those things happening. I think what else I was going to mention. Yeah, I mentioned that about the person that I met yesterday again. What was something I was going to talk about? Um, what I have in the description section. Yeah, I talked about the lady that was hanging on the street. The migrants. What's the other thing? Oh, religion. Yes, good old religion. Yeah, so I fell asleep with my computer on in the living room again. And when I awakened, yeah, what did I see? Yeah, there was a new program, new YouTuber that I found. Um, and his channel name, I think, is called From, what was it? Saved to, oh God, I don't want to give the wrong name. Saved to Oh God, sane. That's right. Saved to sane. SANE. Like you have sanity. So it's implying that See, I used it resonates with me because I used to follow Christianity, and I had an awakening from the faith in 2015. It was very traumatic. I shared it before on my channel. Yeah, I was introduced to Christian. I'm from America. I'm born and raised here. And, black neighborhoods that got all these, black folk like to go to church. And I had a neighbor across the street, and they would spend all day Sunday in church. They'll leave early morning, and they come back in the evening, because they have meals there too. So they have all these multiple services. And black folk churches, boy, you go to any black American church and they pass that plate several times. And then they start to humiliate you, say, "You're not giving enough." Oh yes. Oh yes, I've been to those churches. I went in this church one time. It was a Baptist church in downtown Manhattan. Uh, it's a landmark, that particular church. I'm not going to give the name. But what happened? It's a black female minister, very nice lady. She's a good lady. But she has helpers. And they get these helpers. And then they want to shame the audience. Now, these are poor ass people, a lot of old people, I should say, older people. And they pass that buckets of, and they have on top of the stage, you're robbing God, that thing by robbing God, that scripture verse. Do that in a white person's church and see how fast they stay. Okay? That they don't stay, right? They don't stay. But either way, they put that in black people's churches. And she was just saying that the assistant was, "Oh, your pastor loves you," real dramatic, how much they love us. And you should show your love to her by your offering, what you give her. Blah, 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 blah. I don't like being manipulated. You give what I hand you. See, when I go to church, I do believe in tithing off. When I was a church girl, I did my tithes and offerings. I don't want anybody saying I'm stealing. Oh yes, I was very anal about that. You better keep your tithes and offering. And yes, it was my gross earnings. Gross earnings, yes. It's not after tax money. It's before tax. Whatever way you make. I gave my gross amount. And then the offering on top of it. And then if I go more than once a week, it'd be an additional offering. So that was my religion, honey. You better give your tithes and offerings. If you're going to play the game of church, you follow the rules. I've always been this way. And that's one thing that I did like about the military. You follow the rules. So, but of course, they don't follow the rules of the military. They make it up as they go along sometimes. But either way, in general, you follow the rules and use common sense. If something is happening, you have to modify. Yes, to protect yourself. So, but they do that in these black churches, and they try to shame the practitioner, the people that attend there. And I don't like that. And all throughout black neighborhoods, in my old neighborhood, I used to live in Hollis, New York, and they have a strip, the commercial district, church after church after church. Why is that church is the industry in black neighborhoods? Yet they're not thriving. And there's a lot of crime. Boy, and they're the biggest buildings there. It is a racket, the church, the Christian church. they have the nerve to ask you, knowing your social conditioning, and they tell you, you didn't give enough. Let's pass the bucket again. Shame on you. I hope that if someone does that to you, when you go to any church goers that I listen to this recording, you take that bucket and you throw it at them. Throw it on the floor. Because shame on them. Robbing the sheep. Robbing us. Making us dependent. Making us feel like victims. They do that. Am I lying? I see the viewers here. Am I lying? Is that what they do to us? Pass that bucket several times and then start yelling at you and say that you're robbing God. Well, I think God is robbing us through you when you lie to us and you manipulate us. And many of you are engaging in sexual relations with these poor women and children, and you get away with it. And no one speaks out. You get away with it. And I'm tired of it. But either way, I didn't go on today's podcast to talk about that aspect of church. But, I found the video, new channel that I was showed, Saved to Sane. That he too must have had an awakening. He was a Christian. And the foolishness in his life in the church, and he broke away from it. Yeah, I just watched a little piece of the video, and I'm going to go back and finish watching the rest of it. Yeah, it'd be interesting his perspective, what happened to him. And that the main thing that these churches bring the Black community into poverty, yes. And they rely on fear. The religion relies on fear that you're a sinner and you need to be saved. And when I had my breakthrough with Christianity, I was locked in the religion. I was introduced to, again, being an American, living in Black neighborhoods, you're introduced to, your friends go to church, whatever. They may even invite you. So it's a bondage. And they rely on your fear. There's a term for it. I forget the terminology, but it means cognitive dissonance. Yeah, cognitive dissonance. That the truth is telling you what's going on, but your mind cannot deal with it, and so you make excuses for what's going on. And religion is that. Christianity is like that. A so-called savior. But you're in a bad situation. You're not being saved from anything. How could someone call you names that never met you? They never met you, but yet they said that you're a sinner, that you're a bad person, and that you need something to heal you. If that religion didn't come about, how, people would just be living like they're living. Not being shamed. You have some areas in the tropics, they live off the land. They live how God, the true God intended, to live off the land in faith, of the provisions, in community, knowing that you are a boy or girl, right? But somehow these Christian areas that, Christian countries, they don't know whether they're a boy or girl anymore. So something's wrong, people. When you go to these tribal areas, they know exactly who they are. They're not abusing drugs. They don't eat GMO. They live in a community and they share. And they don't need a Bible to tell them what to do. But these religious people come to their existence, give them hang-ups about their bodies, and your body is dirty. You're dirty. You need to put clothes on. You need to put on these shoes that hurt your feet. It's people who in societies that go barefooted, they don't have crooked feet. You go to these Western countries, they have all, notice they have all these podiatrists because of the bad footwear that people wear that make your feet crippled. Yeah. We're so far removed from God. These religions make us fall away from God, the true God. I believe that there is a creator, there's a force or something. There's something out there. I believe. And I know that you have different dimensions because I share with you all the time about my meditation that I do in the morning, and I see things. Your mind is multidimensional, like chess, the game of chess. I see all these different things. Yes, welcome viewers, welcome. Yeah, we talk about religion now. Yes, life is like a game of chess. It's multidimensional. This life. And when I started doing meditation in 2015, I actually started in 2014. Yeah, I used to follow this YouTuber. I think I actually started her on 2013 or sometime, but 2014, that's when I really started watching her. And I knew she was going through a spiritual journey. She used to be a Jehovah's Witness, and we call it the Hebrew Israelites. So I was interested in the genre of Hebrew Israelite briefly. I mean, I when I was a Christian, when I was so-called Christian, I was curious about the old. Again, it's bondage. So the Hebrew Israelite is about really focusing on the Old Testament with the law. Everything is the law, and what's the term? Legalism. And didn't Jesus talk about legalism, that it kills? But anyway, you have these new groups want you to get back in bondage through the law. And even Jesus, the character in the Bible, says you can't, you don't live by the law, you live by faith. You live in, your personal relationship. Jesus was about relationship with the Creator, not about legalism. But the law is to guide you what you should and shouldn't do. But it didn't transform their heart. It didn't transform the heart. So, so this YouTuber was sharing her experience with the Jehovah's Witness Church. And with that, she saw the hypocrisy, and she started doing research about the organization and realized she experienced racism. She had someone, she was married, and she was invited to a dinner, I think, and one of the higher ups who was married to another black. There was a white guy, but he's married to a black woman, but he was a racist at heart. And said something that offended this black woman YouTuber that I used to watch, and it opened up her eyes. And yet they encourage a lot of interracial unions, the Jehovah's Witness, but it's to control you. They don't really want you to really know your heritage and spirituality. It's an organization that bullies. And so the more she studied about the history of the Jehovah's Witness, she realized she had to get out. And she got out, and She wasn't allowed to talk to family members, no, like they do that shaming. They do shaming and shunning. If you break away or you question the religion, they're told, the followers are told to ostracize you. Very unloving, okay? So I saw her channel and started watching, and I knew she was on a new path, and I was curious where she was going. And she showed about meditation and crystals and stuff. So I just like where she was. I felt she was going. I said, hey, you know, I'm questioning, things too. I want to get more into my Black heritage and things like that. And I was just, hey, let me see where she's heading with this. I even shaved off most of my hair in this slow transformation. Yeah, I cut my hair. I had maybe 1/4 of an inch on my head. And I just felt anew, it was just a something I felt led to do, to get off old baggage out and to follow this where she may be headed. And then later on that year, in 2014, December 2014, she announced this big secret, that she has a book. And I was probably the first one that bought that book. It was just before my birthday. And it was about her experience. And she's no longer a Christian either, and she exposed certain things, what was behind the religion. It's called the Age of I Know, Unmasking the Magicians. The Age of I Know, Unmasking the Magicians. That's the name of it. Her name is Vera. That's a V as in Victor. Vera Courtenay, or Courtney. And it was a book, and I started reading it, and I had I couldn't finish. It exposed that the religion that we know of, the Judeo-Christian Bible, a lot of these major, Abrahamic religions, it's falsehoods, and where the true where the religion really came from. And I had what do you call it? I had a paradigm shift. I was going through a breakdown. I said, what? I started getting a panic attack. I couldn't, if I tried to attempt to read it, I started to have a anxiety thing. Yeah, for what was happening, I was having a wake-up call. Wake up, I was waking up. See, I only saw the religion through, we're all born into a system. Every country, every region, every island has its own system that governs it. And religion is one of those things that governs a domain. Where you live is a domain. I live in New York City. That is a domain, a very big domain. And one of the things that controls it is religion. And I was controlled by it. Even before, I used to call myself an atheist when I was a teenager. And I was introduced to Christianity by someone who was an ungodly person. I am saying it. They were into the power behind it, the mysticism of the religion, but not into the heart of the religion, of love, of integrity, and all of these things. I'm being real, I'm being honest. But they were more interested in the paranormal aspects of the faith and things like the paranormal behind the religion, but not about the essence of what Jesus was all about. See, I don't think there's anything wrong with the the Jesus character of the Bible, of the Gospels, what he taught, what they claimed that he taught. Well, treat people nicely. That's what he was talking about. Oh, I'm losing people. Don't get offended by what I'm talking about. I'm telling my story because it's probably your story too. But either way, um, I was, the person was about, the superficial. And I believed the person. I needed something to believe. We all need something to believe in. And so I wanted something to believe in because I was an atheist. I was into science, but I didn't have empowerment. So I said, okay. And I remember the person said, oh, Jesus is a gentleman. That's another thing they like to say to women, because a lot of women don't have gentlemen around them. They're not gentlemen, many of them. And you have gentle ladies, and you have a lot of ladies who are not gentle ladies. It goes both ways. Either way, they attract people by saying certain key words. Jesus is a gentleman. And a lot of these black women are being violated by people who are not gentlemen. And this person still is not a true gentleman. And I'm in pain about that too. I'm being real. But I said, okay, let me give it a shot. And I took this religion to my heart. Because see, I'm a very feeling person. And I said, okay. So I was a Christian and I was told I was born again. Because I got baptized. I got baptized several times in different institutions, Christian institutions. Because you have to baptize a certain way to really be saved. But yeah. And I was a Bible reader over and over again. Yeah, I actually like reading. I love the book of Genesis and I like the book of Revelation. Those are my two favorite books in the Bible. But yeah, so I was introduced to this Christianity in my early 20s, and I dumped the religion about 5 years ago, I think. 5 or 6 years ago, I officially denounced it. I said, I denounce you. I denounced the religion of Christianity. I denounced it. But in the early part, in 2015, okay, after the person, I read part of the book in 2014, just before my birthday. I was having a meltdown. Because see, religion is a program. If you didn't hear me, religion is a mental program to program you to think like a robot, to have you controlled. Yes, and I was definitely being controlled. Okay, see, it's 6:05 a.m. and the sky is getting brighter and brighter. Yeah, sunrise would be probably around 6:25 today. So it's going to come on in a few minutes. So those of you who know what time sunrise actually is, you can write a message and say happy sunrise at such and such time, okay? So either way. So you're born in an environment, a social environment, a program, and religion is one of them. And when I read the lady's book in late 2014, I was going through a dismantling, a challenge to my paradigm system under the religious flag called Christianity. It was a very frightening experience because everything that you believed in was based on this system of control. That if you even think bad thoughts, that God is going to zap you dead. I became fearful. I knew what she was saying had to be some truth in it, even if it's an ounce of truth. that my faith had a deviation. In fact, let's say you are a navigator and you are on a ship and you have your device to coordinate with your direction where you can go. And even if it's 1 degree off course, you go into a different area. Let's say you go into Spain from New York. If you're 1 degree off, you could wind up in Africa or something like that. You'd be off course. So with religion, they have you believe in something, and it could be totally distorted. It was distorted. How could somebody tell you that you're a bad person and you're this and you're going to hell? Where was before this religion came about? Where were you? What were you to do? Those societies that they don't have the Abrahamic faith, and they seem to be living in pretty much harmony. They're not doing foolish things, but all the social decay is happening quickly in these Abrahamic faith-based religions. I look at some religions where the women have to cover their whole bodies. How could you have a creator God who created the human body and its private parts that is designed to respond a certain way during certain activities to make it easier for you? I'm trying to be very discreet here. And then say that you're dirty if you have certain types of feelings in your body, right? Why would God design a man when he sees a woman's body and call it dirty? And didn't God design the man to be attracted to the woman? Some things is natural, something you don't have to teach, right? You see certain bodies, you say, wow, right? I'm being honest. But in some faith religions, Abrahamic religions in particular, you have to cover up your eyeballs. You got to cover every inch of your body so it looks like you have like a blanket over your body. It just slits of your eyes are showing. And some people even have glasses on top of that and gloves. Yeah, I've met people, they're completely covered. I went to a school in Brooklyn. I went to Brooklyn College. And then you had the full garb. You just see slits in their eyes, and they had the gloves on. Oh, they look sharp. And I told myself, wow, I love what you wear. I did. I wasn't trying to make fun. I like style. I mean, they wore it in style, and especially those gloves on. I think it was lace, black lace gloves. Oh, and they were together. And I admire that. I admire looking at women that are dressed. Some women are dressed very tasteful, very wow. And yes, so they be some of those Orthodox women, and I commend them. Beauty is. I recognize beauty. And I'm inspired looking at some of them, how they dress. I don't dress fancy at all, but I recognize beauty. I recognize ladylikeness. I like that. I love being a lady. I like it. I like it very, very much. Yeah, I never had any doubt of my gender. But somehow these Abrahamic systems now are being invaded by these other thought processes that are confusing you. Why is the Christian religion now, or the Abrahamic faith, to be more exact. How come they're allowing this to happen in the neighborhood near them? How come? How come? Well, you know, a lot of these Abrahamic religions, you have the Masonry. They're called different things according to what faith-based system you're in. But in try calling the Masons. And I think they're behind the instructions of destruction, instruction of destruction. They are being instructed on the destruction of this country. The dismantling. Yeah, they want you to keep the religion, just fund it, fund the religion. Use your money, fund it, fund it, fund it. And then they distribute the money. You know what I was told? And I would tend to think this is true. That's why they're so money hungry. And in particular with Black people, money hungry. There was a person, it was a report that was done. And this person was the chief financial officer, like they handled the accounting of the business, the church. It was a church. And she noticed that there was money missing. And so she, being the, chief financial officer, where is this money going? Where did it go? So she was doing her job. And she went in deep into the computer. Deep. And she found it. The money was being funneled into this country in the Middle East that became a state in the 1940s. Yeah. And he tried to eliminate her. Yes, that's what happened to her. She had to flee because they wanted to exterminate her because she found the secret. Why is money, and again, it wasn't a synagogue sending money to a particular country. It was a Christian church. And the money was being funneled to that country. Wow. See, there are a lot of secrets out there. And it figures why the control. It's not about faith, because see, if it was really about faith and doing God's will. Now, all the Abrahamic religions is about control and behave yourself. So why is it in disarray? If the foundation basically is, hey, follow the rules, do what God says, yeah. So why all this gender bending, the garbage on the floor, is there cleanliness next to godliness? Why no cleanliness? It really angered me. It's opening my eyes. And so I had this cognitive dissonance or exposure of it in that really came, excuse me, full force in let me get my water. I have it right next to me, people, sorry. Just a moment. Excuse me, I had to just clear my throat. Yeah, so you see all these years, welcome viewer, welcome. The more the merrier. It's the more the merrier. I love early birds like myself. Yeah, welcome early birds. A seagull just flew by my window. Yeah, we have seagulls in New York City because I'm right by the water. Yeah, I love it. I love New York City overall. But anyways, you have, was getting my breakdown because I was waking up. See, the book that I was reading by Vera Courtenay, Unmasking the Magicians, expose the Abrahamic religions and the religion in general. that they're based on other writings, much older than uh, the Torah, and based on older scriptures, and that this alleged Anunnaki came to this planet and helped make humanity and used us in a slave colony. Interesting about how it begins with the Genesis. I was thinking about that too, about Genesis. Um, isn't it something with religion and what's happening to people? Um, oh, the word paradise. Let me talk about this. Everything's linking together, people. About paradise. Again, I used to live in Hawaii. They call it the island of paradise. I mean, we see what happened almost 4 weeks ago. What happened in Maui, the fire, the major fire that destroyed the town that I used to live in for the first 5 months. Paradise. And in the Bible, in Genesis, it talks about paradise, right? That they call it the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden, a paradise. You know what that is? This Garden of Eden. It is a plantation. Plantation life. Who was on a plantation a couple of 100+ years ago? Who lived on those plantations? Slaves. Genesis begins, and actually, the book of Genesis is not the first scripture, but the book of Job, I found out. See that? They even redesigned the scripture. It's not in time order. When you have a book, you should have it in chronological order, but it's not in chronological order. Oh, we got someone who wrote a note. Let's see. So I have a pop-up message. Let's see here. Hey, Digital Pit Boss. Yes, Spirit. Yes, little old me. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Yes, good morning. Good morning, Digital Pit Boss. Yes, welcome. It's been a long time, but welcome, welcome, welcome. What state are you from, if you want to share that? So either way, the Bible isn't even in chronological order because the oldest scripture is the book of Job, talking about that, God and the devil. Oh, Atlanta, good for you. Good for you. Welcome. Welcome to New York City here. Yes, and the book of Job about a man, a wealthy man, and God and the devil, in essence. Devil say, hey, your Job, your servant is only following you because you made him rich, but you pull away everything and you're going to see his true colors. So yes, Job was tested and everything taken away from him, and even his family killed. And but he passed the test overall. But there was some chastising. Yeah, he had people chastising him and encouraging him to curse God and all this and that, and giving him a lesson like he did something wrong. See that when in some religion you owe me lunch in the Big Apple. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, watch out by those apples. Yeah, it's good to see you. Yeah. So the book of Job. He was mistreated by his so-called friends. Say, oh, you had to do some sin in your life and this and that. It wasn't anything that he did. And that's and this is the first scripture, the oldest scripture in the holy book. And yet it's putting a mind game on you that if something bad happens to you, it's because you did something in your life. You're a bad person, and God is punishing you, and it had nothing to do with that. He's being tested. And yes, in the end, God did, restore him and restored him at a higher level. And God did chastise him a little bit to teach him what he needed to learn, you know. Oh, he passed the test, I think. But so this paradigm shift that I was developing, you know, it was a wake up call when I was reading this lady's book. Uh, the age of I know, unmasking the magicians. The age of I know, unmasking the magicians. I think you can get it on Amazon by Vera Courtenay. So it opened my eyes. I said, wait a minute. Oh. And I actually started walking around the street like a zombie because everything. I mean, I've had an awakening years ago about family. Your family could also be a stronghold too. Like, you know, you can have family or community that tell you this and then you find out that it's a lie or the hypocrisy. They tell you to do one thing, but they didn't. Yeah, that happened early in my life, when I was in the military too. Yeah, that happened in the military, a wake up call in the military, and then boom, and then with this religion, about 2015. Yeah, that would make it, I think 8 years ago, about 8 years ago. Oh, going on 8 years, I said 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22. So yeah, this December will make it 8 years. This initial wake up. And yes, I was walking around the street in a daze because I believed in this super God. And they were presenting information about the scriptures. And I sort of heard about this, what do you call it, like the Christian organizations call it the Watchers. So you have Christian groups that know about these other scriptures from the what do you call it, the book of the Samaritan tablets, Samaritan literature. You know, it was on these stone tablets. They know about it. The ancient books in that land of Baghdad. Yeah, and they call the Watchers. And so he has a Christian spin on it, this other author. He put a Christian spin on it, but still kept the Christianity. But I really didn't understand what he was talking about. But this new person, this YouTuber, when I heard it through their angle, I thought I was going to have a breakdown. My whole world was this God, and you got to be good, and if you're not good, you're going to go to hell, this lake of fire. And I was afraid of that. And especially if you live in a household that is all about legalism, you better be good or we will beat you. Yeah, I wasn't being orphaned as a child. I was super quiet as a result. But I'm making up for it, right, people? Yeah, I'm making up for it. Yeah, I talk a lot now. But yeah, I was very withdrawn, and this religion and culture behind it was a culture of control and not about love. There was no love. There was no love in my life. And I was hoping with this, you know, I think women in general, well, we're looking for love and comfort, and you know, they teach about this Jesus character, and you know, he's a gentleman, but you know, the person that introduces religion. I mean, of course, I've heard of Christianity, and we had a Bible in our house, and I knew. I thought the book was magic came out of the book. I remember before I even knew what religion was. We had this Bible, family Bible in the house. It was a Catholic Bible. And I remember I didn't feel when I go, if I put this book next to the part of my body that is sick, I'll get well. I even believed that as a child. Oh yeah. Oh yes. You put this thing in it, it's some magic. I knew something about it. But it's interesting how you can create your own religion. And that I think, you know, I didn't know what religion was, but you had this book in your house, and and you heard the word of the Bible, and this, you see shows on TV about Christmas and all that. So you're indoctrinated in the social system you come from in New York City, or whether you come from Atlanta or LA, we all are born into a system. And I definitely was born in a system, we all are. And I believed it, and I read it. Every day I'd get up early and read my Bible. And I liked it. And so I didn't know what to do. And I think anger started coming out for me, anger, in this religion. And then I continued watching the lady, the YouTuber. And eventually I stopped watching her because at first I thought it was ridiculous. This Anunnaki, I couldn't give a shit about them. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. But I thought, it just seemed foolish to me. But it got me thinking. That's what it did. And she said another thing, this YouTuber. She said, like before she revealed about the book, that particular year in 2014, she said, if you want to open up your third eye, ask questions. And I was already on the road of asking questions. Yeah, I knew something was wrong. I was going to church in 2014. Oh, no, my mistake. I ended going to church the last Sunday in 2013. Nothing bad happened to me in that particular church, but I just felt I was becoming more aware of my so-called blackness, my African heritage, and this Christianity wasn't addressing my cultural heritage, and I wanted to explore authentic African, West African spirituality or religion. And so I left quietly, and that's what happened. I didn't have any argument with anybody. There was no bad incident, but I just was itching spiritually. And I was already starting to ask questions about, other traditions, this power manifestation. And then that's when I started following that YouTuber. Well, later on, the end of that year, the end of 2014, so 1 year later, she announces that she got a book. I bought the book right away, and it was really that the Bible is not true. It's based on earlier writings and blah, 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 and these beings from other worlds. I had a meltdown. And then slowly I started building myself emotionally. See, what was happening was that now I was forced to face the truth about my belief system. What was it really based on? If something is based on a lie, then you have to dismantle everything and then put up something that has a strong foundation for you to rely on. So that's what I did in the year 2015. And coincidentally, I did what they call a plant medicine in 2015. Ayahuasca, to be exact. I met someone who knew someone and was invited to I did a total of 4 ceremonies. Yeah, this plant medicine was ayahuasca. Non-addictive, and it does permit you to see things with your third eye, your spiritual eyes, and I saw some things. But to me, ayahuasca, at least being done in America, I don't want to do it again here. I'd rather do it in Peru, where it comes from, the plant medicine. I'd rather do it there. But so I did that in May of 2015, and then I met some people in 2015, this lady down the block, and I told her, I pulled out my hard drive, and she was younger than me, and I told her what was happening to me, and we had a long conversation. I don't speak to her anymore. I hardly see her anymore. In the street. I changed my schedule. It's different now. But yeah, I used to bump into her because she was walking her friend's dog, and she was down the block, and she sees me walking. And when I got up to her, she said something to me. We started talking, and she says to me, she says, when I saw you down the road, that I know I would talk to her, and we would have a discussion. That's what she said. So it's interesting. Yeah, she was interesting to talk to. Yeah. So that began my true spirit journey in 2015. But it already was on its way. But yeah, that happened. And also when that lady said, if you want to open your spiritual eyes, start asking questions. Well, yeah, I started asking questions. It's like she gave me permission to consciously say, I'm going to ask questions and really challenge the system. So I visited in 2014 the Museum of Natural History, and I went directly to the exhibit with the skeleton. What do you call it? The bones, the human bones. The Neanderthal and all that stuff. I went and I said that they are lying. We were lying to. They had things there that allegedly is over 200,000 years old from Israel. I kid you not. I said, well, I thought this thing, they said 6,000 years ago. And then he's coming back soon, right? Right, he said he's coming back soon. What happened to him? You have to start asking. Let's say, ladies, you have a boyfriend, and let's say he's in the Navy. He said, I'm coming back soon, and you're pregnant. And then you have the baby, and he's not back. What happened? Would you call that man a truther, an honest man? Or he's playing games? And you have to ask, you have to start asking questions. Someone gives a promise about something in the scripture, about certain things. Why would you give someone credit that any good thing that happens, and people say, oh, see, Jesus did this and that for me. How do you know that he did it? Why? Couldn't it not be somebody else who's watching over you? Why are we giving every credit of something good to someone you've never met? You've never met them. How could you give that person the credit? How could you have God the Father, God the Son? What happened to God the Mother? What happened? But you have a book, and everything is really anti-female. Everything. The Abrahamic religions, that the woman is bad, and you follow. Eve wasn't looking for trouble. Eve was deceived. The man wasn't deceived. The man just followed along. She was deceived, but she get all the blame. And she got to cover up. Yes, welcome, viewer, welcome. Yes, Eve was deceived, not Adam. Adam was just following along. Eve gets all the blame. And then you have these religions, and the woman has to walk in shame, and she's not allowed to talk in church in the Orthodox religions. And she has to cover up in some religions. As I mentioned, Some places it looks like a sheet over her body. And you can't even see her eyes, just the slits of her eyes. And they dress this way because the man in her culture cannot withstand urges from his own body. Do you think he's reinforced? I mean, really, if you want to overcome something, you have to deal with your own body. But if we make it easy for the man, and no, this is not an anti-man vent either. I respect the man. I respect the alpha male. I'm just putting in context that you are blamed for everything. And then they have to cover up your body that it's bad and dirty. Yet this so-called creator designed your body to do exactly what it does. And you get punished. And then they have to put clothing over your body to shame you and then blame you if a guy gets excited by your body. Did not this creator create your body, create the man's body to respond the way it does? But now we have another God trying to replace the old God into an artificial robot. The AI, artificial intelligence, is becoming more popular now. Phasing out the Bible God to a new electronic God called AI. Hope you guys can hear me here. This new God called artificial intelligence. And this new God doesn't want you to know or understand your body. Is it a girl or boy? And they happen to teaching little children to become confused and to alter their body. You couldn't even back in the day give a child an aspirin in school. And you could take them from school if they have a desire and put them in a secret place to have a sex change operation. Hello, people. Hello. But you got this God out there that's supposed to love you. Somehow this God needs your money. Somehow in some religions that this God needs you to present a burnt offering for you. This burnt offering, and he likes favorite parts of the body because it has a nice aroma, right? I think humanity was hijacked. I believe humanity was hijacked and hijacked through religion. And I do believe that you have beings out there. I've been telling you for the past few years about my experiences meditating. Remember, I told you about the meditation that I do. I told you how I do it, so you can try it too if you want to, for free, and what my experiences were. And so I do have a playlist of the visions or dreams that I have. And I did show you drawings the things that I see. I'm not the best drawer, but you have to draw down the line of things that I've been seeing, the little spider. Yeah, I've been seeing in my morning visions these insects, insectoids, whatever, the giant insects, size of people. I kid you not. And they're in some type of base. The last one was looked like they were in a base under something underground. Because I remember I was looking down, and it looked like something that was underground or in water or something. And I believe that that we live in multiple realities. Our Our mind is like a Bluetooth. Our brain is a Bluetooth. And like a Bluetooth, you could you it's just taking waves, electrical waves, and translating electrical waves. Your brain is a translator. It translates what you see, what you hear, what you feel, all these things. It works like a Bluetooth, and you can pick up signals. And that's all what's happened to me. I do not do drugs. I do not drink alcohol. I had popcorn at the movies, yes. I went to the movies, yes. I saw the latest Denzel Washington movie, and I talked a little bit about it. And I had popcorn. The popcorn wasn't that good this time. I went to that particular theater for the popcorn. It's not something, I usually go to the other theater. But I went to the movies after 3 years of not going in January, February. And their popcorn was good. They no longer have self-service adding the popcorn, adding the butter. And it didn't get to, because I told them put butter on the middle and the top, and they didn't do it. They just put on the top. It was dry on the bottom. Oh God. Yeah, I love my popcorn. If I'm gonna have it, I'm gonna have it. Yeah, I am trying to keep a low carb diet. I told you about the on a keto diet, and then my levels got too high. But yeah, I want to still, I want to keep to a protein fat-based diet, but still eat some carbs. Um, yeah, I don't want to, the carbs will get you fat, people. But you have to be careful. You don't want to get into too high ketosis because it will get you sick. But a balance. I want to do a balance. So I did cheat and had the popcorn about 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago I had it. And yeah, popcorn is a carbohydrate, and it will peak your blood glucose. So I don't want to do that often. I want to keep my blood sugar low because earlier this year my doctor said, hey, your blood glucose, your A1C is border, and I think it was the stress that I was under. I forget what was happening. Yeah, I wasn't sleeping. Yeah, not sleeping as much, but I'm a little sleep. But yeah, I'm not sleeping as well as I could, people, because yeah, I like going on YouTube and watch videos. I got to break the habit again. I do. I really have to discipline myself. But either way, this religion now, yeah, it's a system that was designed to control. And I was going through a cognitive dissonance, breaking the paradigm, the building blocks of this belief system. And the process of doing so was very painful, extremely. People, you can have a major breakdown. I was just like a nervous wreck. And anger too. Anger follows. I share this because see, you guys, you listeners might go through the same thing. You might go through an awakening that something may come into your life and break your belief system, whatever what it is, whatever what your system is of belief. It could be religious or spiritual or belief about certain races or ethnic groups. It could be anything, or political party, anything. And I think the planet and the Western world in particular is going through a major shift. And this new God is trying to present itself. This new God that is governs the new computer system, AI, artificial intelligence, and it's telling you what to do, and it's making you not even know, are you a girl or boy? It doesn't want you to know because they want you to become a robot. They want you, I mean, I know that I'm kind of stuck on watching videos, but they want you to be attached to it. They want to put things in your body to make you permanently attached to computer system of some sort to control your mind. They even want you to walk around, and there's a movie like that. You have the uh, virtual reality glasses. They want you to permanently live in the perpetual virtual reality. And there's a movie that came out about that. They showed a scene, a guy's running away from somebody, and the new drug ads. Let me tell you what the movie, I forget the name of the movie. Does anyone know the movie name? It's some movie that came out a couple of years ago. But in the movie, a man is running away from another guy, some crime or something, and he runs into a vacant building. And inside the vacant building, what's supposed to be like a drug den? Well, let me tell you, the new drug is AI. Those virtual reality games. It had a junkie with an IV in his arm with those virtual reality glasses. So he's addicted to what he's seeing, and he needs it to live. So he has an IV to sustain him to live, his body live, so that he can go 24/7 on this virtual reality game for his new reality. He was seduced to do that. And I see that's where humanity is headed to pull us away and to drag us into that type of lifestyle. People, this is dangerous. This is an evil that's being done to you. It is very sad. And they don't want you to think. They want you confused. They want you fighting. They are disrupting the God of this world, this fake religion that has you ashamed of your body, and now they don't even want you to know what type of body you really have, and control you, control your life. Money, I don't know people whether it's true, but I heard this December a digital currency would take place at several major banks in America. I said, oh my God. They didn't mention the bank that I have, but I'm wondering. I mean, I told many of you that I was to leave last year to go overseas, and I still feel that now. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I feel like leaving. I told the man that man at the park yesterday, the chess player, it's a grown man. I told him, I said, look, I feel I'm being pushed out of my country and I want to leave. He said, don't leave. Don't let them do that to you. I don't feel safe. And I don't want them to take my money. Once they control your money system, oh, you can't buy that with your money. It's your money. It's your money. Did any of you hear? Yeah, thank you, viewers. Yeah, any of you hear about that thing, about the digital currency that's gonna take effect this December 2023? Uh-oh. I hope not. I don't know where I want to go. I mean, I have these, I'm tossing between these two places, but I'd be losing a lot. I've been where I've been for over 20 years. And my dogs, I don't want to subject my dogs. They're getting up there in age. I don't want them they're settled here, and I'm settled here. I still have, my central things here, and I want to, it's going to cost money, and I don't want to move into a place, and it's going to cost a lot, I think. Especially if I go overseas, if I go stay on this side of the planet, I don't think it's as expensive transportation, but if I fly over, across the Atlantic, you know, it's going to cost some money. And I don't want to lose, I don't want to lose the money that I have. I'm not to say that I'm a penny pincher, but times are rough, and people are losing jobs, and now you have to compete with migrants now. They don't want to hire the locals here in New York City, especially Black people. They are bringing in the migrant workers, what I was talking about earlier today. They're bringing them in to disrupt the employment for Americans. And it's not being insensitive, it's what is. Why they're here? They're here because they're going to displace Black people, Black American people. And you even have some poor whites that are moving to New York City, a lot of them are drug addicts. Yeah, they're fleeing their town, coming to New York. And you know what's really weird? I mentioned this before. The drug addicts, the Blacks, and the new white, what they call white trash, that they're buddies, no racism, people. See, they want you to, see, they're using the race card. And I talk in those terms. I don't mean to offend when I said, the expression white trash, but it's a terminology that people know what the deal is and what they look like. And they know what they look like. And it's unfortunate that they're in the condition that they're in, because they are being lied to also. They are being lied to. White America is being lied on, and Black America is being lied on. And when they come, these poor whites come to New York City, the drug addict ones, they talk a storm to those Black people. Those Blacks that are on drugs. Hey, they party together. I kid you not. They get along very well. And they buy from those Black dudes the drugs. And I never hear the N-word from them, or them being told bad things about the Black drug addicts. Never. They are bedfellows, people. They are bedfellows. So how is that? How is that? We talk about racism and bigotry and this and that and Donald Trump, right? Oops, I'm not supposed to say that word, Trump. Number 45, call it number 45. Okay, let's just call it number 45. And I see more and more Black people saying very positive things for the first time. I mean, urban Black, poor urban Blacks, saying very positive things about number 45. So what happened for all these years? If he was a so-called bigot, right? And if this so-called bigot is being getting a mugshot, what do you care? Because someone is opening up the eyes of Black America. That's what. I don't know who is, because it was a total surprise when I started seeing over social media what was happening. I mean, a lot of Blacks were, urban Blacks were saying, good things about him all of a sudden. Yeah, so it's maybe they're having a paradigm shift. Maybe they're having the paradigm shift. What do you think, people? What do you think what's really going on? I can't figure it out. I cannot figure it out, but it's happening. People are waking up. I love America. I want to stay here in America. I love, but we have some nice parks here in New York City. There's some nice things. I could go see the river if I want to. We have big parks, we have zoos. I haven't been to the zoo in ages. I don't really like the zoos. But we have museum, we have a lot of cultural things. We have malls, we have some new little malls here in the city. I have everything at my fingertips. And if I move, I would be spending a lot of my savings, um, putting stress to relocate, new culture, new language, possibly. And you never know how you'll be received. See, it's always different when you're a tourist versus a resident. As a tourist, you're all loved because they love your money. But when you have to live at a place and people start to fear whether you're taking their money, even if, I would be going as a retiree, but they don't know that. They only see, oh, she's here now. And they may not want me there. And that fear is now, I think about. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I guess as more news comes out, and again, that man that I met 2 days ago, the chess player, he said, don't leave. You might be on the brink of a breakthrough. I said, I need a breakthrough. I want a breakthrough in my life. I need it. I need it. I don't want to run. I don't want to run away. I would love to stay here because these are my fellow New Yorkers. I'm born and raised here. And I love meeting people from all over the world. I love meeting all my life. I've met all types of people. When I first started college 43 years ago, it was always a French speaker sitting next to me. You're back in the 80s, early 80s, always French people from mainland France. And I remember I met an Egyptian lady. Egyptians are not white people. Egyptians are not white. Some of them are darker than me. Yeah, I'm pretty brown, and she was even browner than me. She was nice. She was a nice lady. She wanted to learn to become a translator. But yeah, early in my days, I was meeting people from all over the world. And junior high school was when I first started really meeting people, and I'm old enough to understand different nationalities. Yeah, I went to a junior high school that had uh, people from Greece, people from China, people from the West Indies, people from what they call Latin America. We had regular white people, regular black people. It was everything. And yeah, and I like watching shows about different cultures. I like this personally. I was always like that. And sometimes I feel inside anger because I see injustices being done to America at the hands of being exploited by the new migrants and these microaggressions, and that they don't have money. If I want to move to a place, you have to have a bank account because they don't want what's happening now on my block. They're on my block now, begging for money. A family. It's like the parents and about 3 little kids. Shouldn't the people who are sponsoring them be paying them and putting them in a place? And now I'm made to get this. A black mayor, black American, he's from, not from far where I'm from, in Queens. He's from South Jamaica, Queens, one of the poorest, high crime neighborhoods in New York City. So he knows the deal. Now he's crying wolf. He said, "Oh, we can't take it anymore. Oh, it's too it's too much. Oh, please send us more money because of the migrants." Yeah, but he let them in. So now he's making excuses of black mayor that now we can't handle all the migrants. It's about 100,000, as I heard, about 100,000 migrants here. And school's gonna start, public school's gonna start in just a couple more days. Where are these kids gonna sit? Who's gonna finance it? New York is already on the brink of falling. Yeah, this past 3 years, so many companies shut down. Whole neighborhoods. I used to hang out at the Village, and so many of them the businesses in clusters shut down permanently. But we have, but at the same time, we having new businesses. And I'm curious whether this is all by design. Get rid of the American businesses, get rid of them, and put in new people, new nationalities who have the money to pay the new rent. Yeah, even before the C-19, as I call it, the thing that didn't happen since 2020, um, the rent was rising up drastically. And I think they were already trying to do with social engineering and pushing people out because you want to bring in something new at our expense. At our expense, I meant to say. At our expense. That's what's happening. How are these new companies able to pay the rent? It's so high. Yeah, yeah, this is dumbing down. See, New York City is setting up very quickly. You're going to have the new ruling class. Yeah, I see people are leaving the screen now. Yeah, you have new people who are coming on. They're going to be the new taskmasters, the new intellectuals, and they're going to use the migrant workers as the new worker bees. And where's Black America going to be here in New York City? They're gonna go. They're probably going to all go down south. They're leaving. Yeah, blacks have been leaving New York City for quite a while, the past 20 years. But even these cities, like Atlanta. Hey, if a Digital Pit Boss is still there, I see you from Atlanta. Do you see also migrant workers going to Atlanta to live? Because yeah, a lot of blacks go to Atlanta. The blacks from New York, many of them leave to go to Atlanta in particular. Let me know. I'm just very curious about what's going on. Again, I'm not trying to hate on anybody. That is not my motive here. I want peace, love, joy, wealth, and wellness to everyone that lives in the United States of America. I want best for everybody and myself. But when social engineering is happening and trying to rob our comfort and use up the resources, because he's up to something, in my opinion. Oh, Digital says I'm not single. Um, I am single. Yes, I am single right now. Yes, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard being a single. I mean, the people here. Yeah, because again, men don't really want to be with women here. It's something going on. There's no community with Black America in New York. It's like we're afraid of each other. It's sad. But here, these new migrants are in families. Their families are sticking together and they protect one another. Oh, thank you, digital pit boss. Okay, he just, I don't, uh, the person is saying, yeah, there are many here referring to migrants. Yeah, getting some, see, I think a lot of them are being tricked and are going on the caravan cars, traveling them up into the country and then dumping them here. It's horrible. To put them in the middle, I believe they're being promised something and then, whoa, what happened? They don't realize that they're being used as a pawn slash peasant. Remember the chess player said that the pawn is also called a peasant. Interesting, folk. Isn't that interesting? The pawn is a peasant, yeah. And the pawn slash peasants are being used uh, as just a filler, as a smoke screen, because they want to implement a change. But the people who are doing this, they live in their nice homes. They don't have to deal with it. They have their many homes and they have their fancy jets. They tell you you can't have a car. Yeah, I hear that they're going to be phasing out cars. Yeah, that Saudi Arabia is phasing out its oil production. Right now that is their major crop, crude oil. But they're phasing it out, and that's why they're using the money from the oil to redo their society and to build them up for the next level. They're building a city called the Line, Line, the Line. Go look it up in the over the internet, the Line. It's a 15-minute city that they're going to implement there. The 15-minute city. Everyone is going to be crammed in a spot. They'll be using, I guess, social scores. You cannot drive more than 15 minutes away from your home. They're called smart cities. Everything's within 15 minutes away. That's to keep you slave to activity. You don't have that freedom anymore to really go out and about. And they're implementing this. In some places, like in China, they have these large cities, these buildings, but no one lives in it. They are preparing to put people in them and keep them there. These new 15-minute cities, digital currency, because now you're going to be enslaved in an area, and I want it to stop. If you want to live in something like that, fine. I want to live in freedom. I don't want any digital currency that I cannot take my money out when I want to. I don't want that. I don't want that. They can also limit what countries you can go to. I'm speculating. Again, speculating. Let's say if the digital currency comes about in December, as I heard, let's say you want to take a trip somewhere and you want to buy a ticket online. Oh, you're not allowed to go to that country. Oh, we're not going to pay for that. Well, it's your money. They can do that, people. Or products. Am I not speaking the truth, people? Am I not speaking the truth? They can say, oh, you can't buy that food because it's too much calories. You can't go to that country, they're not in compliance. They can say anything about anything you want to buy. We have to stop this. We need to pray, there's nothing wrong with praying to your higher power, praying for focus. Yeah, we need to do that. I need to do that. They can take away everything that you worked for in life. You work hard. Many of us work very hard for what we have. And in the blink of an eye, they could take it. I hope not. Please, if you have a God, a higher power, please pray to it and tell them, no, we don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. Yeah, this is a beautiful planet, and yes, I do believe, like I mentioned about the religion and the people are saying, that this YouTuber was telling me that the Anunnaki is behind the religion, and we're just here to work as their slaves. So I do believe, though, as I mentioned the other day, that I do believe there is something out there. Because when I do my meditations, I see things. And this morning, what I saw, I was really dreaming a lot. And then upon waking, and I kept my eyes closed to do my meditation thing, and I saw it was a large silhouette of the head and the shoulders of some being, and I think it was weird, the texture. It was like a prickly light silhouette, prickly, and that was the texture of this light, and I felt that if it fully matured, the imagery of it, it would show a reptile. That's what it looked like to me. You saw slight form shape forming as on no. It had a masculine feel to it. It seemed to have broad shoulders, a massive face. It was just I didn't see features really. It was all kind of one like blob, but you see the shape of the head and the broad shoulders, and it looked like it started to change into that being that I told you about. Yeah, there are reptilians out there. They're there, and they may be the ones controlling your reality. Has anyone ever seen these reptilians? Is an alligator, lizard-like looking beings in a meditation or in real life or in a dream? Has any of you? Let me know. I believe these things are real. And again, as I mentioned, it's the things that you don't see, I believe, that actually control the seen world. And the analogy I gave the past 2 days, I had my window open in my bedroom and these curtains, and the wind was blowing against the curtain. And I said, well, this is what life is like, that the unseen is pushing the curtain. And I think we're being influenced by what is unseen. And we have to try to learn to master our thoughts, our bodies, and to do what is right for us. I do not want to be a slave to anybody. Let me know. I mean, what your thoughts about this? Have you ever encountered somebody that meditated, or maybe they did a plant medicine and they started seeing these weird things? I don't think it's my imagination. And once you see one, you may see more. And I said to myself when I was trying to do a meditation, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that. I really don't. And I don't want to invade any reptile's space. I don't want to be harassed. Because I heard that some of them are mental, that they know how to get in your head and talk in your head. I don't want that. I never had that, and I don't want it. But I believe, based on my experiences and other people's, that there is a world beyond this one, beyond this physical world. I don't truly understand what it is. There are different realities, and I was able to see many, many things, locations, people who I don't know, situations, and I just say, um, be careful be careful with everything. And I really wish you guys safety, especially areas where there are migrants. I want you all safe and sound. I want your children sound. And I want the government to stop doing its foolishness. It's not fair to do this to these people who might have been told lies that, oh, if we want to invite you in our country, if you know, don't lose, don't lose, disrespect people into this. It'll catch up to you. Cut it out. So, oh, I see here. So digital has something else. Let's see. Digital says there is certainly a possibility of reptilians out there. Many people talk about it. Yes, yes, yeah. They're beings, and they're spiders too. Giant spiders. I know it sounds great. If someone said this on YouTube years ago, me early in the year, I would think they're crazy. But because I do meditation, I do not do drugs, and I do not drink alcohol. These things are real. That's how Hollywood gets its material. They probably have people who meditate and they share the experiences. That's what I think. That's what I think. Yeah, but I really wish you all, safety. This is a beautiful, looks like it's gonna be a beautiful day. I see the time, the temperature change. It's what is it, 50, it says 59 degrees. 59. Okay, so let me see. Oops, don't say it now. It's about 59 degrees. So I put I get it now. That's something else now. Yeah, about 59 degrees. Oh yeah, yes, I see that. 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, so it's cool out there, the perfect weather to walk in. So I'll probably need a jacket. 59 is a little cool, but nice. It's perfect weather if you don't want to walk far. Yeah, yeah. Get out here. Yeah, I want my babies, my little doggies. I want them. They like going out. They like going out. They like their little ride. I would love my ride too if I was a dog. Yeah, they have shock absorbers on it, so they get a smooth ride. So yeah, I wanna. After talking to that man in the park, the other park near where I live, I think I might take his offer and get chess lessons because I need a breakthrough, and I'll pay him. I'll pay him. Because I asked, well, how much is it? He said, whatever you can afford. He's nice about that. I think I'll give him $10 each session. $10 a pop each session. I think I'll feel okay giving $10 each time. And again, I don't know how long it's going to be. Maybe 10 minutes or something. If it's something like 10 minutes, that's plenty. 10 minutes. But we'll see. I'll give him the money up front. So then he'll give me what he feels comfortable giving me with the money that I give him. So maybe I'll bring some money with me. I don't like bringing cash. I don't like carrying cash. But I'll get the money just in case I go down there. Yeah, when the weather's nice, I could leave a little later, in the day. So I'm not dependent because of the heat, because it can get real hot and it can get my dogs and me sick. Yeah, I'm sensitive to high heat. I used to love the heat. I never used to feel sick. Now, sometimes I feel sick. Maybe because I'm not hydrated enough at times. That's why I try to, first thing in the morning, drink my water. Yeah, I have my little elixir. It has my Shilajit and my electrolytes. Let me drink some now. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, make sure you drink your water. And yeah, eat right, and all this. Yeah, I want to um I wanted to eat more of the proteins rather than the carbs. Yeah, the carbohydrates give you that belly fat. Yeah, I want to burn out that belly fat. Yeah, when you get older, you get that belly fat. I mean, hey, my health, my weight is pretty good. It's normal. I'm at my normal weight, but I don't like belly fat. No, I don't. I mean, you are more than just your body, but I want health. I mean, I want health. Health first, and then looks. My health is always first. But yeah, eating the carbohydrate diet, you get hungry. And I find eating the protein-based one, you feel more satiated. And they don't want you to eat certain fats. Your body needs fat for your brain, your neurological, your neurological system. I mean, I'm not a physician. I am not an MD. And you go to your own licensed health practitioner, but you have doctors who lie or are just ill-informed or uninformed, and they want you dependent on prescription medications that over time will destroy your heart, your liver, and your kidneys. I don't want it. I don't want it. Yeah, diabetes runs in my family, and early in the year, um, the doctor was saying, "Hey, whoa, what's going on here?" Pre-diabetic, like it's at the that threshold level where you're right at the anything higher, even 1 point higher, I would be considered pre-diabetic. Serious. Yeah. And I didn't know that I was having problems with my sugar. I didn't know. I think because I'm not getting sleep, and when you don't sleep right, it's a stress hormone, cortisol, and that will raise your blood glucose. If I understood right, please correct me if I'm incorrect about that, but stress hormones will affect your body, your blood pressure, and I think it also affects your blood glucose. Yes, diabetes, all that comes with it, runs very deeply in my family. My father died of it, and my brother died, uh, you know, complications from it. Yeah, and I don't want it. I don't want it. So, I've always been conscientious, health conscious, and especially when there was a death in my family. Death is real. I don't want to be afraid of death. I don't. And when I was a Christian boy, I didn't realize how afraid of death I was as a so-called Christian back then. I want to overcome that, and maybe this chess player, he said, "You need a breakthrough, lady." He was really nice about it. Yeah, I think I might go on this new journey and learn the game of chess through this guy. His name is Moses. Isn't that interesting? His name is Moses. And his background, he's from North Carolina, a black man from North Carolina, and get this, St. Croix, the U.S. Virgin Islands. My paternal grandfather was from St. Croix, so it's really interesting here. I find a lot of the blacks that live in New York, there are a lot of blacks that live in New York who are actually, their background is from the Caribbean and the U.S. Virgin Islands at that. Yeah, they seem to act a little different, people who have a Caribbean background but are truly Americanized, you know what I mean? They might be here one or two generations. They seem to act a little different. I'd like to learn more about this fellow. He's an older guy. I, I'm not sure how old he is, 60s or even 70s. Yeah, I like his spirit, and he seems patient with me, and I need patience. I need someone who knows how to handle me. I know I can get a little edgy. And I apologize to you guys. I see I get a little edgy when I get stressed and when I see people hurting, and sometimes I just kind of get a little emotional. So I apologize for that. Yeah, I really believe in helping people. Um, and maybe, rather than me getting defensive, I don't like to see families on the street begging for money. Um, I don't know, maybe I should bring food with me and give out some of the food to some of these people, I do feel good. I remember some of the beggars, the Black American beggars out there. And he opened the door, they like to go, the Black American men here in where I live, they like to, they hang out at the 7-Eleven stores. They open the door for you and they want, they have their cup because they want you to they want you to give them money. And one time I gave them a meal. I saw him and I felt, depressed looking at him. And I bought him some chicken, fried chicken, and a large beverage. And I gave it to him. Yeah, I truly care about people, but sometimes I can get a little worked up. And, I think I'm an empath. Because I don't know how to direct the energy. Maybe taking this chess, this learning chess, the technique of playing chess, maybe it might give me solutions and technique and how to handle life. Because life, as the man said, has both good and bad happening at the same time. And you don't want it to consume you, lady. He is right. Do something positive, some positive magic to make it happen to me. Because I don't know any city that's better than New York City. This is a fabulous city, but it's corrupt. It's badly corrupt. I mean, the money, they're not fixing up anything. They're not cleaning up. Yeah, places in the world that have less resources and it's clean, 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 clean. It's the mindset. And they're directing this money to who knows where. Yeah, they're probably bringing it overseas. That's what I think. That's what I think. So, people, I'm going to keep you guys posted on this journey that I might be going on regarding learning how to play chess, and as the man says, to become delivered. Yeah, I need deliverance. I need enlightenment, truth. I need to be able to break out of this, you know, stop reacting and start doing. I don't want to be a reactor. I want to respond. I want to respond to my environment in a positive way, that which is positive for me and my daughters. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely keep you posted on everything about this new guy. Yeah, I like when I meet people who I think are very important to me. I like to write it down where and when I met them. Yeah, it's important. It's just how I am. It's I have a feeling this man is going to be uh, essential in uh, my journey, my life journey, my spirit journey. Okay? Yeah, I see here we're approaching, it's 2 hours and 54 minutes. And yeah, I've been on here long enough. And I want you guys to get ready. And so it's a 7:31. This beautiful, beautiful Saturday, 59 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's gonna be sunny, it says. Yeah, so I want to finish my water and get situated, and I think I'll go outside and enjoy my day. Yes, please pray for me, people. Whoever who your higher power is, pray for me. I need your prayers also. And those of you who like this channel and like my content, and it's always free to go on. But those of you who want to help support me on my journey and like the material that I share from the heart, unscripted, you may wish to PayPal me. And to do so, you just go to my channel, Spirit Journey, and on the top right banner of the channel, you see my PayPal me link. Just click on the link, follow the prompt, and any amount would be greatly appreciated. And I thank you in advance for your precious gifts. And if you can't afford anything, even a penny, that's okay too. You can give me a thumbs up, or you can give me a wave on the what do you call it, the chat room or in the discussion bar. That would be fine. And that would really make my day. Yeah, I like your little thumbs up. You can do a little wave. That's really cute. Or hey, hi, Spirit Journey. That's all I need. That's all I need. And so I thank you in advance, no matter what you give me. Uh, yes, I wish you peace, love, prosperity, and favor out there. I thank you, and I will give you, give you updates about what's happened here in New York City and my journey regarding the chess playing or whatever what I decide to do. Okay? Thank you, people. Until next time. Bye bye.